Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode here on NRV Outdoors. Today we are here in my favorite little creek to do a little bit of trout fishing. But as you can see, Mother Nature has threw a curveball at us here. We have had a huge flash flood. It's absolutely dumping the rain out here, so we're going to do our best to catch a fish or two for you guys out of the creek here today. But if you look to our left, all of this over here is solid chocolate milk rolling out of this small tributary. But the main creek here has a little bit of clarity, so I'm hoping we might get a bite or two. But in today's video, we're going to be throwing around that Fenwick Eagle with some 6-pound fluorocarbon line, spooled up onto that Pfluger President. And we're going to be changing things up today, guys. We're going to be throwing around that Berkley pinch crawler in that chunky cheese color. When I pulled up and seen the creek look like this, I knew that that added scent from that gulp lure, as well as that bright color, would do us some favors. I've had a lot of you guys asking me why I don't throw them anymore. And the truth of the matter is, I love throwing the products that I make, but that pinch crawler is one of my favorites. So we're going to break it out in today's video and see if we can catch anything. So go ahead and stick around and let's see what happens. Seeing this flood line moving further and further out towards the middle, if I was a trout, I would be pushing over this way. So I think a few casts over there might be ideal. I did just see one rise right here in front of us. So we're going to kind of fish right here in this general area. Stay with it the best that we can in hopes that we can call one of these fish out. But as you can see, the mud to our left is really pushing over, and that should move those fish over here where we can get a hold of them a little bit easier. So we'll cross our fingers and hope to get fish number one of the day here. Well everyone, it is raining super hard, so I think it's time to take a break. We're going to go on ahead, head up here to the vehicle and do something a lot of you guys have been requesting, and that is an in-depth guide to all of the gear that I carry each and every day while out here filming these videos. So let's go ahead, head up there and let's get ourselves dry. Let's talk about some of this gear. Well everyone, we came out here today to do a little bit of fishing, but as you can see, a summertime storm has rolled in. It's muddied up that old creek, and according to the radar, it's going to hang out for a while. On our way here, it was looking beautiful, but as is here in the mountains, those weather clouds will hit those ridges and they will get blocked up, and all of a sudden it'll start dumping. So I thought today would be a perfect time to sit here in the vehicle, watch the creek here in the rain, and talk about a little bit of our gear. I've had several of you guys asking me in the comment section there what I use, how I like to use it, and wanted an in-depth guide on my gear. So we're going to hop into that today, one piece at a time, and let you guys have a full in-depth of what it is I carry each and every day. Now the biggest thing I get questions about is my little double-sided Plano box. A very simple little divider box here, guys. You can pick these up at almost every sporting goods store, be it Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods, Academy, Bass Pro Shop, and Cabela's. It's just a simple double-sided Plano box, and it stores a good bit of our gear that we carry every day. As you can see, one side here is carrying our creek bugs in that pink, white, yellow, black, and natural. And on the other side here, we pop in our mini minnows. Pretty much the same colors, yellow, pink, white, black, and an awesome chartreuse mint. Now on this side is more of our terminal tackle side. As you can see here on the left, we've got 3 options of our creek grubs, a very small finesse lure there that I like to keep on me at almost all times, as sometimes those trout just want something smaller. In this little section here, guys, we've got our jig heads. We've got some of those 1/32 ounce jig heads, as well as a good array of those trout magnet jig heads. Here in the middle, we pop in our trout torpedoes in size 2 and 3 in both brass and nickel. Just next to that there, I like to keep those trout magnet floats. And on this side here, guys, is just some small split shot in B and BB size, and we've got a nice arrayment of hooks. We've got circle hooks, octopus hooks, J hooks, a good arrayment of different hooks, just in case we find ourselves needing a specific hook for a specific lure. But a very simple little setup here, guys. This thing goes with us everywhere we go. So when it comes to the other lure options that we carry each day, as you can see, our little stinkers, our boss minnows, and those speckled pups, I like to use the simple Plano 6 divider boxes. Not every day do I need these, but I carry them in the vehicle with me at all times, just in case the worm bites good, or maybe that minnow bite, or even that egg bite. So we carry these everywhere we go. We just simply leave them in the vehicle, and if we see that it's a day that we may need one, I can just simply come up here, grab them. And these little 6 divider Plano boxes are just perfect for storing each one of them individually. Now another question I get in almost every video is, what kind of net are you using? This here is a Hellbender net. This is made in South Carolina out of fired bamboo by a lovely couple who make these by hand, and offer these online on their website at hellbendernets.com. I have been super impressed with these guys. We have partnered up with them. We've been using their net now for almost a year, and it's a very, very durable, beautifully made and handcrafted net that I am very proud to use and represent their company every chance I get. As you can see, that fired bamboo is just beautiful. It's got copper embellishments that hold that net in place. I've had no problems netting huge fish in this net. It hasn't let me down, and I'm very impressed. This particular model is the Hellbender Downstream. It is their flagship net. It's their biggest net, their deepest net, and by far, in my opinion, their best net. And if you're going to invest in a net that holds any size fish and can take you anywhere you want to go, this is it, guys. This is extremely lightweight and by far the best net I have ever used personally. Now, another question we oftentimes get is, what kind of waders are we using? As you can see right here, guys, this is my set of waders. It's a very cheap set of Frog Tog vinyl waders. These things last about a year, maybe 2 years a piece, but they're set at a very, very affordable price range, between $35 and $50 depending on your location, and they do get the job done. They keep that water out. During the winter, you can stay warm in them, and during the summer, that water will penetrate through quite easily, allowing it to cool your leg off and keep you cool in the summer. Now, as you can see on the bottom, just a very simple boot tread. No felt, no studs, nothing fancy, just a very sturdy little pair of boots to wear when you're out fishing. Now, another question I get asked quite a bit is about my vest. As you can see there, this is a BassDash vest. I've been using this thing for a couple years now. As you can see, it's just loaded down with tons of storage and pockets. You've got a pocket for almost every application you can need, inside and out. And if you look closely here, guys, it's got a mesh back and a mesh inside to help keep you cool in the summer. But it's also got adjustments all the way throughout at the top and at the bottom, so you can layer up several thick layers in the winter and stay warm while you're out there doing that wintertime trout fishing. And once again, tons of pockets, small little cup holder. I mean, just a very durable little vest that I've been using now for quite a while. And again, you can pick that up at bassdash.com, or you can grab these on Amazon. Very affordable price, guys. You cannot beat it. A good bang for your buck. And again, very durable. I've had no zippers bust, no pockets break. It's been a beautiful little vest, and it's done me an excellent job so far. It's got that awesome camo on it. As you can see, it's a bit faded. We took this thing out many times. It's gotten wet, it's gotten muddy, it's been washed in the washing machine, and it's still holding up to this very day. So something I can definitely recommend. BassDash has supported our channel for a very long time, so I highly recommend you check them out. If you guys have been following the channel for very long, you know I have used a ton of different rods. I've tested very cheap to very expensive rods here on the channel, and I have landed on this Fenwick Eagle that I've been using for the last few months, and I have been extremely impressed. I get tons of questions about this rod, what size, what action. Now keep in mind, guys, I'll list a lot of my gear in the description, but some of you guys simply don't know how to find that. So today I'm gonna hop into this rod in depth. This is the Fenwick Eagle, 7-foot, 2-piece rod. It does break down for storage, but it does not get rid of any action. I know a lot of you guys have been told that a 1-piece rod has better action and better feel, and you're going to miss fish by buying a 2-piece, and that couldn't be more incorrect. Back in the days when the 2-piece rods were super famous and popular, they were kind of weak. They had to make those joints very stout, and oftentimes you lost sensitivity. But nowadays, guys, these rods are built super tough, super cleanly, and you do not lose sensitivity by having that extra break in your rod right there. But this rod is the 7-foot, 2-piece, medium fast, 1/8 to 3/4 ounce lures, and you can spool up 6 to 12 pound line. So just perfect for fishing in rivers and lakes and even creeks. For any species you really want to target, be it panfish, bluegill, bass, you can even put some heavier 12-pound line on there and target those catfish and other things with a little bit more pull to them. Now, when it comes to line, I've been a big fan of 8-pound line for years, but in the last year or so, I've started using 6-pound line, as I did a break test and I found that 6-pound isn't that much different than 8, but you have a smaller diameter, giving yourself a better chance of tricking those fish into feeding. Now, guys, there's a lot of line companies out there, but I prefer to use that Berkley Vanish. It's 100% fluorocarbon. This is probably the cheapest fluorocarbon you can buy on the market today. It's very affordable. This 500-yard roll only costs about $18 at my local sporting goods store, and it lasts absolutely forever. Super cheap, very affordable. Now, the reason that I go with that cheaper line is simply because fluorocarbon is a very weak line. The sun will affect this stuff. It'll make it very soft. It has a big memory, so when you spool it up onto your line, it'll start to get twist, and wraps, and it'll keep the memory from that spool. And you have to replace it quite often. More often than not, just a day of fishing will fray up your fluorocarbon, and you've got to pull a bunch of it off and throw it away. And a nice trick that I use to save a little bit of money is if you look down in my spool here, you'll notice that green tint down there. That is actually braided line, 20-pound Berkley braided line. A very cheap line that you can put on there one time. I typically do 2/3 of my reel with braided line, and then I'll tie up a simple leader and I'll reel up a good bit of that fluorocarbon on there. So when I have to pull it off and replace it, I can just go to the braid, nip that off, tie a new leader, and I'm not losing an entire spool of fluorocarbon line each time I spool up. Because even at $8 a spool, it does get expensive as it gets damaged quite quickly. Now for the reel, everyone, this is a Pfluger President. I bought this thing, and the same day I bought that Fenwick Eagle, a lot of you guys told me that I needed to try that Pfluger President, that it was just an epic reel. And I have to admit, guys, I have been a very big fan. The drag on this thing is just super duper smooth, as you can see right there. I have very little problem picking up line. Oftentimes with spinning reels, you'll get a lot of line right up underneath the spool here. I haven't had that problem with this reel. It's been very, very clean. It's a 5:2-to-1 gear ratio, so it picks up that line quite quickly. So when I get that bite, I can reel down and set that hook. And so far, I have been very impressed. Almost a year in use and no issues with it at all. Only had to grease it up one time, and it's been a beautiful fishing reel for me. Now, when it comes to the camera, I use a GoPro Hero 9. It's a couple years old at this point, but it's a very durable little camera. As you guys know, GoPro is probably the most dominant camera used in the fishing industry here on YouTube. From the very smallest YouTuber all the way up to those super famous ones, almost every one of them runs a chesty camera. For our GoPro guys, we did modify it out a little bit. We added that max media mod and a max lens mod to make sure you guys get the best audio and the best video that we can give you using the GoPro. Now, a lot of you guys have asked how it is I'm able to keep my camera running all day long and not miss any of those awesome strikes. And all I do, guys, is I run a simple little PowerTech battery bank, as you can see right here. It's got a couple batteries inside. It's a 10,000 mAh version, and I simply run my little GoPro cable into one of my awesome BassDash pockets, and I plug that in, and it keeps that camera rolling all day long, so we don't miss any of that awesome action. So I know what you must be thinking. Surely that isn't all the gear that you carry when you're out trout fishing. But the reality of it is, that is all that I carry when I'm out there. But I do keep a huge box, as you can see here, of all sorts of different gear in my vehicle, just in case I need it. I take this with me on every single trip, because you never know when things might change and you need to try something different. And in this box is a huge arrayment of different lures. I'm not going to hop into it. If you guys have been following the channel for a long time, then you already know I love and use a lot of different gear, and I carry all of it in this box right here, and it goes with me on each and every trip I go on. And I'm sure that a lot of you guys are wondering why I don't fill my pockets. The truth of it is, guys, I have found that there's no need to load your pockets down and carry around a ton of weight every time you go out fishing. Just simply having it with you in the back of your truck or underneath your seat is all you really need. And more often than not, you can run up and grab the lure that you're needing or that you want to try each and every trip, and you'll have it with you, and you don't have to break your back toting it around in your fishing vest. Well, everyone, that's pretty much going to do it for our gear breakdown. Very simple. I most of the time just carry what I need out here. I plan my videos ahead of time, and I carry the gear that I know I'm going to use with me each and every day. I try to keep it minimal, keep that weight down, because when you're out here fishing as much as I do, lugging around every bit of tackle you've got oftentimes becomes a little bit overwhelming. You typically won't need a whole lot of lures, just the things you have the most confidence in, and that's what I recommend you guys carry with you each day. But let's go ahead and cross our fingers and hope that this rain will pass. As you guys have seen during this gear breakdown, it has been steadily raining, so we're going to cross our fingers, hope that this summertime storm moves on. We can get ourselves out here to get a little bit of fishing action for you guys. All right, everyone, decided to come back out here and give it another try. And I popped on one of my all-time favorite lures that I haven't had on the channel in a while, and that is that Berkley pinch crawler in that chunky cheese color. An absolute fish catching machine. A lot of you guys that have been following the channel for a long time knows that it's one of my absolute favorite commercial made baits by Berkley, and it gets it done day in and day out. Hoping that that bright yellow color might contrast in the water here good with that added gulp scent. It should help us get a couple extra bites. So we're going to make a few more casts here. As you can see, that rain has not subsided yet, but we're going to cross our fingers, hope for the best, try to pull us out a fish out of here. But it's looking like we're going to have the big skunk for the day. That will happen from time to time, and unfortunately it's something all of us anglers have to deal with. But at least we were able to come out here and do a nice little gear review for you guys and have a little bit of fun doing it. There we go, fish on. Fantastic, everyone. Slide on down here. Actually, I think I'm just going to give him the big old trout flip. Grab out our old Hellbender net here. Give that little beauty a flip right on in here. There we go. Breaking out one of our favorite lures on a rainy day. Managed to get ourselves a beautiful little trout here, guys. Heck yeah. We're going ahead and give him the fall back in. There he goes. Back in there, happy and healthy, everyone. Heck yeah. Can't beat it on a rainy day. To get out there when you can, throw around one of your favorite lures and catch a beautiful fish, guys. Heck yeah. Well, everyone, I think that's going to do it. We got our one on our Berkley pinch crawler, and I think it's best to go on ahead and call it. The fingers are getting all pruny. The rod and reel's taking a beating, as well as our camera gear, so we're going to go ahead and get out of here, get dry, try to make sure we don't catch a cold. Although it's nice and warm out here, rainy days like this are a beautiful setup to get yourself good and sick. But we're going ahead and call it a day right here, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed our gear breakdown, and we'll catch you on the next one.